Coming up on Mountain News this morning, hear from a group of volunteers in Harlan County working together to help their community. And the daughter of a Lincoln County woman killed in a gas pipeline explosion is opening up about the incident 1 year later.
Dedicated to Eastern and Southern Kentucky, this is WYMT Mountain News This Morning.
Good morning, I'm Lacey Roberts, and thank you for joining us on Mountain News this morning. Today is Monday, August 3rd, and that's right, it's August. And you know what else is right? There's cooler temperatures outside, and you know who's excited about that? Brandon Robinson. Let's go ahead and bring him in. I know that you just have a big cheesy smile on your face right now, Brandon.
Oh, yes, ma'am. Absolutely. I love this. Is my kind of weather. It's almost like fall weather. You can step outside. The humidity doesn't smack you in the face. These temperatures, super nice this morning. And I think we're going to see more of that, at least for parts of the week. We'll talk more about that here in a second when it might end and the heat might return. It is August, after all. Temperatures across the region this morning, 60 in Monticello, 66 Jackson, a lot of 62 to 65 degree range there. So again, a very mild morning for this time of the year. Across the state, some upper 60s out toward Paducah and Owensboro, 71 the hot spot in Louisville this morning, 66 in the Tri-Cities, and a pair of 63s in Huntington and Charleston. So again, a fairly nice day ahead. We'll pick up some scattered chances for showers and storms this afternoon. 84 is the high, but when you take away some of that humidity, those lower dew points, it won't feel as hot as 84 normally does. It was basically perfect yesterday, and I think we'll see something similar to that today. Rest of the forecast on the way here in a little bit. Lacey.
Thank you, Brandon. And a blessing box is full of canned goods, cereal, shampoo, and other hygiene products. With Love from Harlan sponsors 18 blessing boxes along with 20 community-sponsored boxes. Organization leaders say that they have seen an increase in people using these blessing boxes as people stay home and cook, as some store shelves sit empty. This is making it difficult for many people to find canned goods.
There's certain items they're not able to get. And so if you have the transportation to get there, but your store isn't stocked, then how are you supposed to fill your own pantry? We are humbled and blessed to be able to fill those needs that aren't being met right now.
With Love from Harlan offers no contact curbside weekend meals, and organization leaders say they welcome everyone. If you would like to contact with Love from Harlan, you can do so on the group's Facebook page. And normally when you hear of a city beautifying their community, there's some sort of grant to go along with it. But what if that is not the case? In the 90s, a group known as the Petticoat Mafia shook the town of Benham in Harlan County, doing what they could to help their community. But the torch was never passed on until now. I talked with two members of a new group in Benham to learn more about how they are continuing a legacy. Here in Benham,
you could drive around and see some things that had fallen into disrepair.
Members of the community noticing things not being done.
We've got several areas that we're trying to clean out with trees that have overgrown, bushes that have overgrown.
Wanting to make a difference, Eric Creech started a group on Facebook, the Friends of Benham.
We wanted to let people know that Benham is still a city that cares about itself. You know, we want to carry on the mantle of the people that came before us.
And who might those people be? The Petticoat Mafia.
Before the Mafia hit, it was just like going through a war zone or something like that. It was just, it made me cry.
Wanda Humphrey is the last of the living group of women from the 90s who ranged from ages 66 to 86.
We had articles in all over the United States. We made money. We played bingo. Petticoat Mafia funded that. It didn't cost the city a penny.
Upgrading parks and food markets across Benham, something this new group is carrying on.
We've had a lot of community members that have stepped up. They've made donations. Even if they're not able to work, they still want to see that work get done.
Beautifying the city.
And we have a fishing dock just right down the road from here, and it's used by a lot of people in the community, but the wood was starting to look old, starting to look worn.
Members of the community power washing and donating materials to restain the wood.
That was $350, $400 just for the stain.
Getting all the weeds out of the rocks in that area and repainting all that.
People with like minds taking pride in their city.
We want it to be infectious to other communities, not just Benham.
Saying, be the change you want to see. Friends of Benham will hold a meeting on Thursday, August 6th by the walking trail at 6:30 if you would like to be a part of this movement. And the Veterans Club in Louisville recently came to the rescue following the death of a Korean War veteran. 90-year-old George Devine's belongings were at risk of being thrown away by his apartment complex. He didn't have any family to pack it up, so the Veterans Club cleaned out the apartment and donated anything that could be salvaged to neighbors in need.
I put out the call for help and we had a ton of responses. So people came out with trucks and dollies and straps and trash bags and gloves and masks, and we're all just in there trying to salvage what's good and pay him respect and honor after he passed.
A public service will be held for George Devine in Radcliffe on Wednesday. And one teenager from Ashland has spent nearly 1 month fighting for his life after a skateboard injury left him with severe brain injuries in early July. After undergoing brain surgery and weeks of recovery, Eli Harrison will soon be able to take his first steps out of the hospital onto the road to a complete recovery. Friends and family met outside St. Mary's Medical Center last night to hold one final prayer circle before Eli is released this week and heads to Louisville for physical therapy. He is expected to be there for about 4 to 6 weeks, but doctors believe it could be even shorter than that. His family says the journey has been nothing short of a roller coaster.
The fear of losing your child was very, very real and overwhelming for us and for his friends and family. So to go from there to seeing him walk out the door today to come, he walked out for a little bit, took a couple of steps to come out just to show everybody how good he's doing. To be able to see him do that and hear everybody cheer for him was overwhelming. And
the prayer circle will continue after Eli leaves the hospital, with people simply moving it to somewhere in Ashland from now on. And the daughter of a Lincoln County woman killed in a gas pipeline explosion is opening up 1 year later. On August 1st, 2019, a gas pipeline exploded, killing Lisa Derringer. It destroyed her home, leaving nothing behind but the burned garage and car. This past Saturday marked 1 year exactly since the explosion, and dozens of family members, friends, and even a few survivors of the explosion filled the now deserted spot. Balloons picked out specifically for Derringer were released into the sky with messages of love and grief.
If you've seen it before, there wasn't a blade of grass taller than the rest. Immaculate, stayed very beautiful. And to see that now, that's kind of hard, you know, because I know she was pretty particular. That part's pretty hard.
A new lawsuit has been filed on behalf of 80 others affected by the explosion. They are suing Enbridge and its parent company, who owns and operates that pipeline. And the 2020 election is now only months away. Senate Majority Leader Mitch McConnell is up for re-election this November. On Saturday, his competition, Democrat Senate candidate Amy McGrath, was in Lexington kicking off a statewide voter campaign initiative. McGrath is calling for no excuse absentee balloting, saying nobody should have to put their lives on the line to vote.
My 79-year-old mom should not have to put her life on the line to vote in this election. This is America. I voted by mail for 24 years in the military. It works just fine.
The voter registration deadline is just a little more than 2 months away, October 5th. To check your registration status, you can go online to voteky.com. And Lexington is making moves towards racial justice. Public officials have several important discussions scheduled this week. Town Hall and the police department both want to hear from the public. Grace Feinerman has the details.
Through protests and counter-protests, committees and community talks, Lexington has continued to discuss issues like racial injustice and proper policing.
I think we need everybody in the fight. While we are working to change policy and we are working to change things from the top down, there's a lot of work, a lot of service that we can do from the ground up.
Divine Karama is a member of a subcommittee taking part in Mayor Linda Gorton's Commission for Racial Justice and Equality. The third and final virtual town hall meeting is at 6:30 p.m. Tuesday. Multiple subcommittees will take center stage. They include justice and accountability, housing and gentrification, and the law enforcement. Karama hopes temporary protests will lead to more permanent policy changes.
Once that emotion's gone, a lot of the young people kind of lose that energy because they don't have the information. They know that their parents are broke, their grandparents were broke, and their great-grandparents are broke, but they don't know why. They don't know the complexities of the issues that they're even fighting for. So I think it's up to those of us that do understand what is going on. We got to pass that buck down to our young people so that they're informed, because that's what will sustain their energy.
The Lexington Police Department also wants to continue the conversation. They're asking for feedback on interactions and policies through a public phone-in session Monday afternoon. It seems timely because of protests, but the call is actually part of the department's national accreditation process. Through all of this, protest organizers are still not satisfied. They say they'll continue planning their own demonstrations. In Lexington, Grace Feinerman, WKYT.
The city is asking for feedback until August 14th. Well, just ahead, an Alabama man is saying, "See you later, alligator," after he woke up and found one in his swimming pool.
Oh, thank you to that. After a while, crocodile. Let's take a look at our visibility this morning, and you're seeing some mess out there. But the temperatures, that's going to be the big story the next few days. I'll talk about it in about 3 minutes.